Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to Football-Oranje.com. We've got a live stream tonight of Netherlands 0, Mexico 1. Not the best start at all for Frank de Boer as Netherlands boss. And tonight I'm not alone. I'm with Mike Bell, the Football-Oranje editor, and also Antonio, who's a Mexico fan, who's come to join us tonight. I'll hand the floor to Antonio in just a minute, who's going to explain his background as a Mexico supporter and what he does online with his football stuff. As you can see, I'm not in my normal place at the moment. Should be back to a normal sort of studio sort of thing very soon. But anyway, to the game tonight. Mexico won 1-0, and it seemed like a continuation of the Ronald Koeman sort of post era, where we're not seeing some of the best football from the likes of Memphis Depay and whatnot. Still some things missing. I'll come to you in a second, Mike, about what you thought about the game. But first of all, Antonio, would you like to first of all tell us what you thought about the game as a Mexico fan and your background as a Mexico supporter?
Yeah, definitely. So I am a writer for FMF State of Mind, which is an SB Nation website in the United States, cover Mexican football, writing, podcasting, social media, whatever it is. We do that all over here. And yeah, going to the game, I think it was a great game from Mexico. I think not many Mexico supporters could ask for something better. What I really loved to see was that Mexico really took it to the opposition, really took it to the Netherlands from the first minute. That high press at the beginning caused a little bit of problems for the Netherlands back line. And I think you saw a couple of players shine through, especially Tecatito Corona, who many Dutch supporters probably remember playing at Twente a couple years ago. He's all grown up and he's doing pretty good things with the national team as well as at his club level. So I think it was a really good game from Mexico. I think they did their homework, and not much to complain about over these 90 minutes.
No. I think Mexico did pretty well. I think the failings of the Netherlands were what stood out for the Dutch fans tonight. But I don't know. What do you think, Mike? Do you think that this was Netherlands playing pretty poorly or Mexico playing particularly well?
You got to credit Mexico for the way they played, the way they stifled the Netherlands, but from start to finish, Netherlands were terrible. I don't think there's any other way to put it that Netherlands just weren't there today. I don't know if it's just because it was a meaningless friendly that none turned up, but I think from start to finish, apart from Koop Meiners, who made his debut, I think did really well. Apart from that, everyone was really poor. I think if Mexico had won this game 4-0 tonight, there could have been no complaints. I think Creel had to make a good save, and then Jimenez missed a good chance in the first half. I think the most shocking stat is that I think Ryan Babel had a shot in the 26th minute. And from that point onwards, Netherlands didn't have a single shot until the last couple of minutes when Luc de Jong had a header saved and then Memphis hit the bar. That's shocking. From the Netherlands side, they played so well under Ronald Koeman to defeat against Italy after he left was poor, but this was even worse. I think it's worrying that Frank de Boer would have came in, he would have seen all the criticism that he would have got from the Dutch press, and you would have wanted to go off to a good start, but this is really, really bad. And it's going to get tougher as well. It's got Bosnia away and then Italy away. You could end this with 3 defeats, and then you got the Dutch press already saying to the KNVB, what have you done? They all knew it was going to be a bad appointment from the start, and nothing tonight, except for the performance of Koop Meiners, has changed my mind that de Boer is going to be a really poor coach.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were sceptical about Frank de Boer before he started this game tonight, and now after this game, I think that's going to get worse. It's not going to make it any better at all. It hurts me because I think that you'd have thought that if he was going to have any impact, you'd see it tonight. You'd see it in the players a bit more fired up, or have a bit more of a clue about them as to how they were going to attack. And it wasn't there. I can't see it getting any better, and I can't see de Boer having the impact that he probably wants. And the KNVB expect of him. If you're watching us with us live tonight, thanks for joining us, and thank you already for all the comments that are coming through. I'll put some on screen in just a minute. So if you're watching live, please do make sure you drop in a few comments. And if you're watching this after we've done the stream, days after, please do leave a comment in the YouTube's comments. What did you think of the game? Did you think Netherlands played poorly? Did you think that Mexico played particularly well? Who stood out for you on the pitch? Let's bring up some of the comments. Al Gutman says 2 losses at home, no goals scored, no clear game plan, and no desire from the Netherlands players. It's like 2016 all over again. Plays very sceptical about Frank de Boer. We better not start Babel in the important games, must be said. Yeah, there was a few different selections in the team tonight, but Babel was one that went back into the team. It was good to see Koopmeiners and Wijndal given a start, though, to sort of get their first sort of main appearances under their belts. Conservative, predictable, and a boring 4-3-3, Frank de Boer's resume. Peter Brooks, is it disappointing? I did tweet this. That Koopmeiners is probably the only player that I thought deserved credit tonight. Does Berghuis deserve credit too? He wasn't too bad, was he, Mike? But then I suppose when he has played for Netherlands before, he hasn't really stood out too much. What were your thoughts on the standout players tonight for the Netherlands?
I think Berghuis did all right in the first half. I think other than that, Koopmeiners was the star. He basically tried to do things in midfield that you didn't get anything from Wijnaldum or Van de Beek. I think we've seen a lot tonight that a lot of people are saying that Van de Beek's is a mystery in the Netherlands. The way he played for Ajax, we see him for Man United in the few times that he's played, he's done really well. But as soon as he puts on that Netherlands shirt, it does not get involved at all. But yeah, I think for me, Koopmeiners is one that comes out of credit. Berghuis did all right in the first half. But yeah, there's just moments from some players. Wijndal looked all right, but he did give away a few sloppy passes. Had to looked terrible in the first half. Van Dijk and De Vrij did well in the first half, but then he got taken off, and then it's Ake that makes a mistake. Krul made a good save, but some of his distribution was poor. Memphis was trying too hard. He always tries to do a little too much. And other than that, Luke de Jong made a bit of an impact when he came on, but yeah, there's not very much that came out tonight that would be good for me. Koopmeiners apart from that.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Going to come here saying lazy players tonight. Steng should start. Van de Beek was poor again. Second half shows De Vrij and Van Dijk are way better than Veltman and Ake. Ake was disappointing. No vision, no comfort forward pass. Veltman was useless. Stengs needs a lot of improvement. I think it was the best game from Calvin Stengs tonight. Veltman is a disgrace. Wrong comment there.
Plain and simple. All right.
Frank de Boer did okay, I think. If you could please elaborate on that comment, that would please explain why you think Frank de Boer did okay tonight. Interesting comment from Rashon. He says, "Relax, guys. It was a friendly trying out new players against a solid Mexico team. If it continues over the next 2 games, then you can have a go at the coach. For now, get off his back." Antonio, tell us some more about what you thought was particularly good about Mexico tonight, because maybe we shouldn't be being so harsh on the Dutch players. Maybe Mexico played pretty well. Who stood out for you? I mean, I noticed that Raul Jimenez had chance after chance against the Dutch back line.
Yeah, and if you have to point the disappointing button at somebody, it's got to be Jimenez. He's the Mexican striker in form at the moment at Wolves. He's playing out of his mind, but tonight he just did not have that finishing. And I wouldn't say there's any Mexican striker that is particularly close to him and gaining his spot, but still, when you get those chances, you have to make them. He had 2 pretty clear ones. Scored his penalty, but he needs to score all the other ones too. But apart from that, I think Mexico, like I said, played really well in going after the opposition and looking for that goal from the start. Obviously, I talked about Corona having the impact that he had. He's definitely probably Mexico's most talented player in terms of just technical ability. I think Hector Herrera from Atletico Madrid had a pretty good second half. In the first half, I think Mexico lacked a bit of pace, a bit of dynamicism in the midfield, but that's what you get when you put a 30-plus-year-old Herrera and Guardado. But I think Herrera did very well in the second half. I think Gallardo, Mexico's right back, did very well in going forward and attacking the Netherlands fullbacks as well. And then goalkeeper Alfredo Talavera, 38 years old, and played pretty well tonight. Didn't really have any defensive mistakes, as nobody in the defensive line had any mistakes really. So I think it's pretty good to see that. I think with Guillermo Ochoa being our star goalie for so many years, I think there was some concerns when his injury came through, but I think Talavera showed out tonight. So yeah, I mean, the Netherlands did disappoint in terms that I was just expecting more. I was expecting a lot more attack. I was expecting a lot more from their stars, that is Depay and other players like that. And because they have players that are a different breed than Mexican players, but they just didn't show out tonight. So
no, that was disappointing, wasn't it? Further to that point, was there anyone in particular who you thought would play really well but didn't? Particularly someone like Donny van der Beek, who I imagine you've seen him play a little bit before.
Yeah, that was surprising, really, as well, because I think like Michael said, he's been pretty good in a Man United shirt so far. Obviously, we all know his career at Ajax, and didn't really do much tonight. I think, I think Van der Beek has to be one of those players. I think obviously with the defensive changes in Veltman and Ake, they left a lot to be desired. Obviously, Ake gave away the penalty there. Before they were pretty solid. Mexico did penetrate them a little bit, but nothing like it was when they came off. So really just nobody really stood out so much, and I was really surprised as well. I was really surprised by Guardado getting the start for us, him being so old, and I think Dutch supporters kind of have that same feeling in Ryan Babel starting for you guys, as I saw some of the comments. So, coaches make weird decisions. What can we say?
Right. Well, I can see Mike drinking away sorrows there on my screen. Mike, what did you make of the likes of Van der Beek tonight and Wijnaldum, the guys that are playing at top clubs but maybe didn't shine? Why didn't that happen? Why isn't Frank de Boer getting the best out of them?
It's difficult to say after one game. I said earlier on it might just be the case that they weren't up for this game. I know his press conference basically said that Frank de Boer was like, I don't want to play this game. We've got much bigger ones coming up. We want to rest some players. Maybe they just didn't want to be out there tonight. Who knows? Frank de Boer, his team selection tonight surprised me because I didn't think he was going to start with so many of the regulars like Van Dijk, Wijnaldum. I thought he was going to give some others a chance. I know Frankie de Jong didn't play. Obviously, tonight shows how vital he is to the team. I'd like to see him start maybe alongside Koopmeiners. I think them two would be effective together because Netherlands has had no penetration in midfield tonight. I think somebody like Frankie de Jong who could break the lines might have helped with that. But yeah, Wijnaldum really poor. Van der Beek terrible. I've not seen a good game from him in the Netherlands shirt so far, which is strange given his status for Ajax and what he's doing at Manchester United. It's worrying. I think the attack's worrying. I think that Memphis Depay has been excellent under Ronald Koeman, but just get to a stage where you need to try and find a central striker. I think Daniel Malin is that. He missed the game tonight. I don't know why. I don't think there's been anything out tonight saying he's injured or why he missed the game. But against Bosnia, I would definitely start with him because he has something that the rest of the attack just doesn't have. He has a bit of pace and he's not scared to run with the ball at defences. But yeah, I think tonight was a different lineup from what we'll see against Bosnia, and I think that's a good thing. I don't think we'll see Wijndal, won't see Van der Beek either. I think we'll see Frankie de Jong come into midfield, and we won't see Ryan Babel. I think everyone's just surprised at why do we keep giving Ryan Babel a chance every single time he comes on. Every time he plays in recent games, he's doing nothing. He's not doing anything for Galatasaray. Why is he getting a game over Quincy Promes? He could have played from the start. Or if you got to take somebody off, why take off Bergus? It's strange to me that Babel plays, but it's just one of these things that hopefully Frank de Boer's seen it tonight, and now he's going to go, right, you've had your chance and you've not taken it, so he makes changes. We can only hope that Frank de Boer changes something from tonight.
Yeah, I thought that actually when I saw Ryan Babel on the lineup that this was like a last chance. It was like a tryout, and if he didn't impress, then that might be it for a while for him. And given his age, that might be it for his career. Maybe De Boer's going to make that decision soon, having seen what he's seen tonight. There were actually some comments. There's loads of comments coming in. Thank you. Please do keep them coming in, but I don't know if we get them all on the screen tonight. Can't understand how Bubba's still getting a call up. Yeah, could he have come off a bit earlier? I think it's a good question. Western Fishing says fire Frank de Boer.
Already
after a game.
There you go.
We need a striker really badly. And even though your image is a picture of Memphis Depay, yeah, Memphis isn't that striker. We've been saying for ages, haven't we, that he plays really well in that role, but it'd be really cool if he could play with someone such as Daniel Marlon. I won't put one of those comments on the screen, but if they weren't a fan of Joel Veltman playing, let's just say. What has happened to Van der Beek? He's like a ghost since signing for Man United. Put Depay in the wing and give Luke de Jong some time at the top. Another one here, actually, Clayster wants to put Depay in the wing too. Could we play Berghuis, Memphis and Marlon up top? Van der Beek is a flop in international football. Van der Beek doesn't work when we don't have the ball. Antonio, we would like your thoughts please on Edson Alvarez. 15 is with the podcast, and we just to give it a little shout out, by the way, we did do a little bit of a chat, didn't we, about Alvarez on the podcast we did together before the match. Funny enough, I think we both predicted a pretty low scoring game, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I went 2-1. I did predict the Jimenez penalty, though. I'll take that.
Yeah.
But no, Edson Alvarez. I mentioned this in the podcast. He's somebody that Mexico fans have a really, we're putting a lot of hope into him for the future to be that deep line playmaker. He can play center back as well, but Martino really likes to play him at that CDM role. He didn't have the best game today. He wasn't as involved as we might have wanted him to. And I think probably Luis Romo, who plays in the Liga MX, probably deserved that start more than Alvarez tonight. He did come on for him in the second half, but he's definitely somebody that has a lot of upside. He's a young midfielder, which Mexico doesn't have a lot of right now. So if we want to stop starting Guardado or Herrera as much and get somebody else, I think Alvarez is where you want to start. Not the best game from him tonight, but I think I hope he improves at Ajax, especially this season. So
sure. We had another one here about Mexico from Joe.
Tecatito at the back line dancing, yes, he sure did. Like I said, he was definitely the best player on the pitch. Yeah, I mean, nothing more to say. He has the finishing capabilities. He lacked it a little bit because he did miss a couple of chances. Not as clear as Jimenez, but we just didn't have the finishing today. I wonder also another player that is probably familiar to you guys and to Dutch supporters is Hirving Lozano. He ended up not making the trip because of Napoli going into quarantine and everything. But I have a sneaking suspicion that if he had played and he had started, I think it would have been 2-0 to Mexico.
Interesting. We had a few comments in about the tactics and could it be changed back to a back five or a back three, whatever you want to call it. Mike, could I have your thoughts, please, on that? Do you think that that's a feasible option? The centre back options are obviously very good for the Netherlands at the moment, but how can that work as an attacking unit too? Because you don't want to have loads of defenders in your team.
Yeah, it's possible to do it, but Frank de Boer isn't going to do it because he's a coach that sticks to his tactics. He doesn't change them. I think we've seen that all throughout his managerial career. He doesn't switch from his playing style, and that's why he gets sacked by Crystal Palace, Inter, and Atlanta United in the end. It could work if you had De Ligt, De Vrij, and Van Dijk at the back, and then somebody like Hateboer who plays in a five with Atalanta and shines there. Looks really poor in the Netherlands shirt. I think he's used to having a back five, so that could work. And you put somebody like De Jong, Van Adam in midfield, Memphis, and maybe Luke de Jong up front. Somebody that can knock the balls on for quicker players. But yeah, I can't see it happening. This isn't Louis van Gaal or Ronald Koeman who's going to come in and change the tactics and make it work that way. This is someone that's going to come in and stick to his 4-3-3 and try and make it work. We're wherever he can. We'll wait and see. This is only his first game. I don't want to be too down. It's quite depressing tonight, but we've still got 2 games to come. If we get 2 losses from them, then yeah, I'll be quite depressed. But after tonight, he's got to stick with his tactics. We'll see once full strength team's out, when Frankie de Jong's back, when Dumfries is playing at right back, Blind at left back, and we played a full game with our strongest centre backs and Silason's back in goal. And we'll see if anything improves. But yeah, I can't see him changing his tactics after tonight.
No, he does definitely seem like someone who's going to keep what he knows and knows well. And that's one of the flaws with Frank de Boer. Is he going to change things up once he gets into this routine of it? Lots of comments about player performances tonight. I'll put a few more on screen before we talk about a bit more about the game itself. Van der Beek's an average player, someone who is good in the Eredivisie, reminds Rashawn of Davy Klaassen, with perhaps he's being a bit of an average player. Van Wijnaldum yet again underperforming. We need someone who has a bit more charisma as a manager. And Clay thinks he'll do a better job than Frank de Boer because he's played Football Manager a few times. I mean, I think after the Crystal Palace performance, anyone can do better than that.
Yeah, I think.
Logic and Strategic surprise were rated. And another comment here: Babel's now better at defence and offence. If the objective is to attack, Babel isn't going to cut in on the wings. For me, like, Babel just seems quite clumsy and someone who's not very agile, and he used to be a lot better at that. It's like he's suddenly entered his 40s or 50s the way he plays recently. It's really bizarre. Anyway, about the game itself, I wanted to ask you both: did you think that the penalty was a penalty? I mean, obviously in 2014, we had that very famous moment where we had Robin diving for a penalty. Don't know if you agree with that, Mike. You don't think it's a dive? Oh. Interesting. First of all, Mike, was the penalty in 2014 a penalty? And was the penalty tonight a penalty?
In 2014, it was 100% a penalty. He got touched. He went over dramatically, but it was a touch. There was contact. It was 100% a penalty. Deserved to win that game. Well, we didn't deserve to win the game, but the penalty was a penalty. So, in my eyes, yeah, that was right. Tonight, possibly not. But we'll say it's just... We'll see it's redemption. Mexico can have that one. We'll stick with the World Cup one. It's fine.
And Antonio, please give us your thoughts. 2014 and tonight?
2014, absolutely not a penalty. It would have been great to see Robin get the call-up today just for the banter. I think that would have been amazing. But no, absolutely not a penalty in 2014. It was a huge dive. It was a huge flop. And tonight, I think it was a penalty, like just the play itself. There was a little bit of questioning. I'd have to see it again to see if Jimenez was offside. But I think, yeah, for today it was a penalty, and Jimenez makes those. So.
and overall, Antonio, do you think that Mexico are very good value for the win?
What was that? Repeat that one more time.
No, that's fine. Do you think overall tonight Mexico are good value for the win?
Yeah, definitely. I think they came prepared, and they came, with their homework done. And I think Tata Martino has a really good idea of how he wants to play. And the changes he made, the thing that I found interesting was the changes he made. The players he took off, the players he put in for the players he took off were the same kind of, offered the same kind of qualities, played the same position. So you can see that he has a clear way to play against teams like the Netherlands. So yeah, I think very good win for Mexico, and hopefully they can keep it going against Algeria next week.
If only the Netherlands had the same kind of coach who had a clear idea of where he was going to go with his team. And on a final note with a penalty, John reckons era penal.
There you go. Thank you,
John. Mike, where do the Netherlands go from here? They've got Bosnia next on Sunday, and then they've got it's Italy again, isn't it, on the Wednesday? What do you expect from both of those two games, and what do you think Frank de Boer will change up? I'm assuming Frankie de Jong will come back into the starting 11.
Yeah, as I said, we'll go back to the Netherlands' strongest lineup. We'll have Silasson back, Dumfries will start, Blind will be a left back, Frankie de Jong will be in midfield again. We want to see Babel. Hopefully we'll see Donya Mao, and you'll put a better side, and yeah, the real big test is against Bosnia on Sunday. It's a tough game, I think, going away there after this performance, needing to win after the loss at home against Italy. Away against Italy is going to be a really tough game. If we have any opportunity to win this group, we need to beat Bosnia away and at home. So we'll see how that works on Sunday. I think Bosnia are a good side. I think they can cause everyone's a lot of trouble if they're not playing well. So we'll see. Yeah, we need a better performance than we got tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what Frank de Boer says tonight and what he says about the loss and what he does to get the players back. Because what they showed tonight just wasn't good enough. Going forward, not enough penetration of the defence, no opportunities. No shots on goal, no nothing, no fight really. So that needs to change for Sunday because it's going to be a much tougher game going away to Bosnia. Because if Bosnia see that tonight, they're going to be like, well, let's just get stuck into them from the first minute and it's going to work. So, yeah. It's ironic in Frank de Boer's press conference before he got appointed, he was criticising the loss against Italy, saying the Netherlands had no plan B and he was going to change it. So, he didn't have a plan A tonight. So we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. A few last things before we go. We've had a couple more comments about penalty. 2014 was a penalty. But if you rewatch the game, it was fouled, taken out the first half, but not given.
I mean, I'm outnumbered here. What can I do?
you're surrounded by Netherlands fans.
Right.
Another one. Medicine's gone about the penalty 2014. The fans haven't seen the everything from all sides, and also the one in the first half.
Yeah, and we'll keep going on about it too. We won't stop.
One last thing from Dave before we do go. Let's end on a funny note. Am I in my granny's bed? No, I'm not in my granny's bed. However, it's not my bed. Hopefully soon I'll move house and I'll finally have a new place to film for Football-Oranje. It's going to be nice. It's going to be good, but it's not ready yet. Hopefully soon it'll all be over. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Antonio, for joining me tonight at Football-Oranje. And we will be back again on Sunday for the Bosnia game and Wednesday again for the Italy game. Please do join us after the game. It's really good to have so many of you watching us live, watching us back later in the week, and loads of comments that are happening live and also again after we've recorded this. So thank you very much to those that are watching, and Mike and Antonio for joining me tonight. And yeah, it was a nice discussion after the game, after what wasn't exactly the most entertaining of games, was it?
No.
Not at all.
No.
But regardless, well done, Mexico, and I think we're pretty conclusive that 2014 was a penalty.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what you said the other day.
Yeah, no. On the podcast, to be fair, I did say that Robin died. But everyone else seems to disagree. Anyway, yeah, thank you, and good night and good day, Antonio. Looks like it's still sunshine there, so
yeah,
different sides of the world.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye.